Hi, my name is Rob Pearson Wright, and in this video I'm going to give you 7 essential tips for taking clear and sharp iPhone photos. Tip number 1 is to choose your own focus point. The most important thing you can do to make sure your photos are clear and sharp is to choose where the camera is focusing. It gives you more control of your final shot and reduces the chance of your subject being blurry. Let's look at the native camera app and how you can choose your focus point. Like most cameras, the autofocus happens in the middle of the screen. See how the yellow box appears? That's the autofocus, and it was in the center of the screen. It does a fairly good job in good lighting conditions, but if the levels of light darken a bit, the autofocus can hunt around for something to look for. A better method of focusing is tapping to focus. If you tap on the screen, a little yellow box appears where you're focusing. If I tap further away, see how the focus changes to the bottle in the rear of the screen. The benefit of tapping to focus is that you can pick the focus point you want so your subject is sharp. See how the writing gets sharper there. Let's see how that works in a photo I've taken. This is an example of a shot where I had to use tap to focus to track my subject, in this case a car crossing the bridge. As the car was a moving object, I had to recompose the shot a number of times as it was coming closer to get this well framed. Using this technique of tracking moving subjects and tapping focus on them as they move towards you, you can take really clear images. Tip number 2 is to lock your focus when capturing busy scenes. This means that no matter what changes in the scene, your focus point stays the same. Let's have a look at how you can do this with the standard iPhone camera app. If I tap and focus on the bottle and move to the center of the screen, see how it changes to autofocus. A better way of keeping your subject very sharp and in focus is to lock that focus. And you do that by tapping the screen and holding where you'd like to focus. So if I move away to the center of the screen again, you'll see that the autofocus doesn't kick in. It stays sharp exactly where I focused it previously. The benefit of this is that you can recompose the shot without losing focus on your subject. Another benefit is that if any background movement occurs, it won't affect where you're focusing. This shot is a good example of using locked focus. This interesting looking couple was sitting on the steps of a shop and not moving much. Because I was on a busy pavement and there were lots of passers-by, I decided to lock my focus on the couple in case anyone passed through my shot, which would have made my autofocus track to that person instead of my subject. Tip number 3 is to make sure you keep your lens clean. It's an easy thing to forget. Our iPhones pick up dust and grime sitting in our pockets or bags, and these things can build up on the lens and interfere with focusing. In addition to this, it can also cause spots on the image or artifacting. Wipe your lens clean with a soft cloth and be careful not to scratch it. The cloths that come with glasses are ideal for this. Make sure you don't use anything abrasive or you could damage your lens. Having a clean lens is important to consistently ensure your images are clear. Tip number 4 is to avoid using the zoom feature. The pixels will be big and blocky and lose valuable detail. Instead, zoom with your feet and get close to your subject. If you can't physically get closer, you can always crop the image when editing. This picture of a bicycle frame covered in lights was taken from 10 meters away using the digital zoom. You can see how fuzzy the image is, and it's difficult to make out the subject. But this is the same bicycle, but instead of zooming, I walk closer to it, and you can see how much more detail is visible. It's sharper, it's better focused, and it's much more engaging. Tip number 5 is to keep yourself as still as possible to reduce camera shake when taking a shot. Any slight movement of your iPhone camera can result in blurry images. Camera shake or movement has an even more pronounced effect in lower light situations. If you're walking around, stop. Compose your image on the screen with a balanced and steady stance with your feet shoulders width apart. Keep your elbows tucked into your sides for a reduction in the movement your arms can make. You can see in this image I have a firm two-handed grip. My elbows are in and my stance is balanced to reduce any possible movement. What's more difficult to see is how I'm breathing. Some people hold their breath when taking photos. This can actually increase camera shake. The pros know to take their shot at the end of an outward breath, just before they breathe in again. The body is more relaxed at this point, and body movement is minimal. Having a firm grip on your iPhone will help you reduce the movement when taking photos. A two-handed grip is best as you can balance the weight of your iPhone evenly. Additionally, you can reduce camera shake that can occur when you tap the shutter or use the volume buttons to take a shot. The second hand will act as a kind of shock absorber. Tip number 6. You can use objects around you to steady your iPhone for a better shot. In this shot, you can see I'm bracing the camera against a lamppost. This is because it's a sturdy, solid object and will allow me to move the camera less. You could use a wall, a tree, anything really. By using everyday objects like this, your shots will be less blurred. To take this shot in low light and avoid any camera shake, I leant my iPhone against a lamppost to steady the shot. I managed to reduce the shake considerably. Doing this in low light can help you achieve sharper results in your images. In this shot, I'm using a metal post as a horizontal support for my iPhone. It's similar in principle to using a vertical support, but has the extra benefit of reducing the weight of holding your iPhone up with your arms. This way you can lean on a flat or nearly flat surface to steady your shots. I really want you to think about the items around you and how you can use them to improve the stability of your iPhone and reduce camera shake. I was able to capture lots of detail in this flower by using the railings in front of it to lean on and steady my iPhone. The extra balance obtained by using objects around you as makeshift tripods can give your photos an extra boost in clarity and detail. Tip number 7. You can use your Apple headphones as a remote shutter release to take photos. You can use either of the volume buttons on the iPhone headphones to trigger the shutter. The benefit of doing this is that a lot of camera shake is caused at the moment the shutter is pressed, using the screen. So using a headphone shutter button reduces the physical contact with the iPhone at that moment. This makes for clearer pictures. You could also set a countdown timer or use an Apple Watch to help you reduce contact when taking your shot. In this photo, I wanted to concentrate on composing my shot so I could capture the man and his reflection. I also had to remain unnoticeable so the photo would be natural and candid. Using the headphones helped in 2 ways. I could pretend I was listening to music to remain off the man's radar, and I could steadily take the shot, framing it with one hand and releasing the shutter with the volume button on the headphone cord without adding extra camera shake. These tips will help you take better, clearer and more focused photos with your iPhone. I hope you enjoyed watching this little taster as much as I've enjoyed putting these tips together for you. Thanks a lot for watching.